friends, I am Dr. J.S. Shahan. I am the course director and faculty at Samasti, which is Saigal Minimal Access Surgery Training Institute. And this is the academic and the training wing of the Saigal Neo Hospital. And at Samasti, we are giving training in the laparoscopic surgery, histoscopy, and upper and lower GI endoscopy. So in continuation of my talk on the introduction to the minimal access surgery, so I was discussing with you about the present day scenario of the laparoscopic surgery. So, the robotic surgery, this is an extension of the laparoscopic surgery. So there is a, great innovation, in the robotic surgery. So in this master slave manipulator, three components are there. One is the master console, where the surgeon will be sitting. And then there is a patient side cart. So this patient side cart, this has got a robotic arms. And then, there is a vision cart. So, how the robotic works is that, the patient, when any surgery is to be done, by the Da Vinci robot system. So the same way, the insufflation will be done, the ports will be placed, okay? And then, one patient side surgeon will dog the robotic arms with these ports, okay? And these robotic arms, then, the instruments will be fitted into these robotic arms, and then the control of these instruments, will be given to the surgeon, who is sitting on the master console. So the surgeon who is operating, it is not necessary for him to be physically present in the operation theatre. The surgeon who is operating, may be sitting outside the operation theatre, or the surgeon may be sitting in some other room on some other floor of the same building, or, he may also be sitting, maybe some distance away from the operation theatre. So how the robotic works is, this is by a fly-by-wire technology, okay? And, here we take the help of the computers, the advanced, computers, just like, as the aeroplanes, if you take a non-stop flight, from Delhi to New York, so, the flight duration may be more than 16 hours. But it's not humanly possible, for the pilot of the aircraft to be, just looking straight into the pathway from New Delhi to the New York, okay, and maybe holding the, the steering of the aircraft. So whatever path he has to take, he'll feed into the computers, and then, the computer will give all the commands to the aeroplane. Okay, so to where to make a turn, where to take higher altitude, where to lower the altitude. So the same way, the master surgeon who is sitting in the master control, he gives the commands to the robotic arm, and then the robotic arm will perform the same procedure, inside the abdomen of the patient. So in the robotic surgery, there is a 3D vision is there, and this is a true 3D vision is there. And, here the surgeon doesn't have to wear any polarized glasses, which we wear in the 3D laparoscopy. Okay, the proctoring is possible, in the robotic surgery, we can attach two masters, master console, and, the control of the instruments, can be given to any one of these, master console. So the student may be sitting, on one master console, and the proctor or the mentor may be sitting on the other master console. And whenever, so there is a complication, or the trainer is facing difficulty, the control can be taken over by the mentors, okay? In robotic surgery, the learning curve is much shorter, okay? The other advantage is that the surgeon, he operates sitting. And not only he operates sitting, that because since he is not in a sterile area, so he doesn't have to scrub up. He doesn't have to wear any gloves. Okay, so not only that, because, the command given by the master console, can be carried to the, the patient side card, either through the fiber optic cables, as is done in most of the operation theaters, or, so these commands can also be conveyed, through the Wi-Fi. Okay, in this picture you can see that, one transatlantic robotic surgery was performed, in the year 2001, in the month of September. The surgeon was sitting, in New York, and the patient was in Strasbourg. So, sitting thousands of miles away, the robotic surgery has made, the telesurgery possible. Okay? But, in today's time, because of the lag of the Wi-Fi, the robotic surgery is not, actually being used for the telesurgery, because, suppose if I tell you that if anyone is sitting besides me, maybe at a one arm's breadth, and if I send one Google's message to that person, so do you think that how much distance that message will cover to reach him? This message, if I'm sitting in Delhi, will go from the, the telecommunication center in Delhi, to the BSNL, there is a VSNL in Delhi, and then, this message will, through the satellite, will go to the Bombay, and, and from the Bombay, through the fiber optic cables laid underneath the sea, so through the fiber optic cables, so this message will be relayed either to UK, and from UK again through satellites, this message will go to the headquarters of the Google, which is at New York. And, after this message goes to the Google in the New York, the server of the Google will find the email, where this message is directed. And then from New York, this message will come to the Delhi, to my friend who is sitting just maybe next to me. So you can appreciate that, to travel this much of distance, this will take some time, okay? So maybe a minute or so. The Wi-Fi lag is, almost the 4 seconds, okay? So suppose, there is a patient in the France and the surgeon is sitting in the New York. And while operating, the bleeding starts. So the surgeon will come to know after 4 seconds. Okay, so as soon as he knows that, there is a bleeding, so he'll, give a message, from New York, okay, and he will ask the patient side surgeon to give bipolar, maybe in his right hand. It will take another 4 seconds to reach the France, okay, and then in the France, the surgeon will put in the bipolar forceps, and then he will say, okay, the bipolar forceps given, and then, the surgeon will start maybe, coagulating the vessel, which is bleeding. So then, as you can calculate, there'll be a gap of maybe 12 to 16 seconds, before, the coagulation starts happening. So, so the lag in the Wi-Fi signal, this is the biggest hurdle in today's time, for the robotic surgery to become, the real telesurgery. But the scientists, they have already shortened this time lag, and, the scientists are, trying the other means of, conveying the signals, like there is a lot of talk of the 5G these days. Okay, and the 5G uses the Li-Fi. Okay, so there is a, the light is used to convey the signals, okay? And light, as you know, that, the speed of the light is very fast. Okay? So, and the signal, can be transferred from one place to another at a very high speed. And, in experimental basis, the scientists have reduced this time lag, to less than a few millimeters. So, in the future, only the time will tell that, this telesurgery will become a reality. And then, there may be a possibility that, anyone, who has got good robotic surgery skills can actually become a global surgeon. Maybe sitting somewhere in India, so you may be operating a patient maybe who is there in any part of the world, maybe in Middle East, in Dubai or Singapore or New York, okay? So that possibility is there, so that telesurgery is possible. and that is possible only with the robotic surgery. Okay. So the other advantage, of the robotic surgery is that there is a tremor filtration. In doing laparoscopic surgery, so many times, when we are doing any fine manipulations, or if we are doing any alignment of the needle, or if you are going to take a bite, a fine bite, so, there is a possibility that, there can be some tremors in our hands. Not only that, with the increasing age, most of us will be having Parkinsonisms, okay, and will be having involuntary movements, of our hand and fingers. So, but, if you are mentally alert, and if you are, using the robotic surgery, so then the robotic arms, they will filter these tremors. So then, as a surgeon, you will be operating, maybe up to the age of 70 years, 75 years, 80 years, till the time your mental faculties are intact. So elderly surgeons can operate. And then in robotic surgery, both the patient and the surgeon, they are in a win-win position. The patient gets all the advantages of minimal access surgery, and the surgeon gets all the advantages of the 3D vision, tremor filtration, okay, and the surgeon operates sitting, the telesurgery is possible, anyone can become a global surgeon, okay. So these are all the possibilities with the robotic surgery, and only the time will tell us, when this will become, the order of the day. I am very hopeful that maybe in a very near future, most of you who are learning laparoscopic surgery these days, will be joining some courses, to do the course in the robotic surgery. And the learning curve of, the robotic surgery is very short. Once you know all the basics of laparoscopic surgery, so then to become a robotic surgeon, it will take you less than a day. This is just like, if you're driving a Maruti car, and if you know how to control the accelerator, how to control the clutch, how to control the steering wheel, and then one day if you're given any luxury car or automatic car, so maybe within very short time, you'll be able to drive that luxury car. So robotic surgery in today's time is a luxury, but in a time to come, the robotic surgery will become the order of the day. So, so this, what I just described to you, then I'm going to show you in a small video, that this is the Da Vinci surgical system, SHD. Now they have an XI system also. And, the most of the patents of the Da Vinci, now they have expired. And, this is the master console where the surgeon sits and operates. This is the patient side card. Okay, and then there is a patient side surgeon who has done the docking, who is giving in the instruments. And then, there are master controller in the hands of the surgeon who is sitting in the master control. So whatever movement he is making, in the master console, the same movements are replicated exactly the same, inside the patient, okay? And then, there are right and the left pods are there. So this is a view port, okay, through which, the surgeon will put his hand into the view port. Only when the head is in the view port, only then the instrument will become active. Outside nobody can, activate the instruments. Only the surgeon who is sitting in the master console, only he can activate the instruments. Okay, so whatever movement the master control surgeon is making, so all those movements the robotic arms will make inside the abdomen. Okay, and then there is a vision card also, and this is the range of the movement, okay, of the robotic instruments. Okay. Okay, so you can see that in whatever direction the fingers of the surgeons are moving, the same movements the instrument making inside. Okay, if you have to open the jaw of the instrument, you just open your, so the surgeon operates with a thumb and a finger. So some surgeons, they use the index finger, and some surgeon, they use the middle finger. So depending upon your choice, you can use any finger. So that is the patient side card, coming up to the patient. The patient side surgeon, removing one instrument and attaching another instrument, with the robotic arm. So this is how, the there are three components of the robotic surgery. So next I am going to show you another video about the precision, of the robotic surgery. Okay. So in this video you can see that, the surgeon has taken one grape, okay, and then he'll be removing the skin of the grape, okay, using one scissor and a Maryland. Okay, so you can see the precision, okay, and the robot has 4 arms, okay, and there are 2 working arms, one assistant arm, and in one arm, the camera is placed. And in robotic surgery, the control of the camera is also with the surgeon. We do not need a surgeon holding the telescope, as we have in laparoscopic surgery. So, the surgeon himself will control the camera. Okay, he want to zoom in, he want to zoom out, he want to see left, he want to see right. Okay, and the control, of the energy sources in the foot pedal. Okay, so in the energy sources, all the energy sources which we use in laparoscopic surgery, like the monopolar, bipolar, or the harmonic, okay, so they all can be used, in robotic surgery also. Okay, so you can see in this video that how beautifully, the surgeon is de-skinning the grape. Okay, even with your own hand, I think this much precision is not possible. Okay, so bit by bit, okay, you can see that the whole grape is de-skinned. Okay, so it is said that the human hand has movement possible only in 4 axes, extension, flexion, okay, supination, rotation, adduction, abduction, okay. But then, the robotic instrument, they are called as an endowrist instruments, okay, and the range of movement is much more than even the human hands, okay. So much more, complicated tasks can be performed, by the robotic instruments. So robotic surgery, this is the future of the surgery, okay, and which encompasses both the best of the technology, okay, and the best of the laparoscopic techniques. So thank you very much.